Okay, this is the Excel from Charlton Jenrick, and I've got it new on live fire. We only put it on here yesterday, and this is the first time I've lit it. I've only lit it about 20 minutes ago. It's had some kindling wood and a couple of little pieces of kiln dried birch. Love birch, it's ever so pretty in the inside, and it's burning nicely. Now this is currently on full air. The insides of the fire, as you can see, have come back to being cream, so the carbon is burnt off and the flue is up to full temperature. So you've got two air controls because it's a multi-fuel, so you independently control the bottom air and the top air. Wood burns from the top down, so we control wood from the top, and the solid fuel burns from the bottom, so we control from the bottom up. So what I'm going to do is turn most, but not quite all, of the bottom air down. You can hear the chimneys quieting down now, we just stabilised it. And the other control is this one on the left hand side is your top air. It's very, very reactive, as I've found out. So if we shut this in, within 2 or 3 seconds, the whole fire dies right back down to just tick over. But we don't really want it burning it that low. We want it a little bit up from there, somewhere about midpoint for your best burn. At which point it's going to burn nice and clean without going through too much fuel. But you'll soon see. Can you hear it? It's not actually ready for a new log, but I'm going to put one in anyway, specifically so that we have a fresh piece of wood and you can see the flame effect better. So just prime the door and leave it open slightly for a few seconds to draw any smoke away before we put a new log in. Right. So this is on maximum primary air and no secondary air. And that's catching lovely and quick, as we'd expect it to. So we've got fresh wood and lots of flame. And what I'm going to do now is turn the air down so you can see how reactive it is. Very, very good control in this little stove. It's a slimline bodied model. It is 275 millimeters from leg to leg depth, 300 across the top and 350 to the front of the door handle. So it's good for shallower fireplace openings. Its top and rear flue exit, it takes a 5-inch flue. And actually, I think it's a rather classical design because it's not too modern and not too traditional, so it should fit into any style of home and got a lovely big glass window. You may see a little bit of haze coming off this at the minute. It's not smoke, it's the paint curing because it's just the paint's starting to go off and it's a bit whiffy at the minute. All paint on new fires needs to cure when you first light them. That's why the colour looks a bit shiny in places. It's just the paint taken, so that needs to actually bake onto the unit. And just turn it down again. Super reactive control on a really good value little. I must say, I'm really impressed with the air controls on the Charlton Jenrick Excel. It's so good for such an entry-level stove. Some of the cheaper end stoves on the market have very little air control for what they offer, and this is ultra responsive. It's just as responsive, if not more so, than some of the higher end stoves. It's not suitable for situating in front of internal walls without extra heat shielding. It's more the sort of stove that's suited to fireplace openings, but it would look equally as good in a more modern or more traditional house. Upgrade wise, I'd like to see it with vermiculite lining panels rather than refractory, but you could easily cut your own, and I really think that would make a difference to the heat flow into the room. But I'm sitting in front of this on the floor in a big showroom, and you know what, I'm toasting nicely. I'm nice and warm. It's chucking out a good amount of heat. I think it could be that little bit better though with vermiculite lining, but for value for money, it's really very, very good. This stove is currently RRPN at £899, and we have them in stock here at Natural Heating. I'm just priming the door. The door handle is going to get hot. It does come with a glove, and you are going to need that glove for operating the door once it's at full temperature. It's not a stay cool handle. You should only really reload on red embers, but it's burning nicely, and this system is compromised because it's the ugliest, awfulest system ever with 3 burners on it, which you should never do. We're only doing it in a commercial environment for testing units on our test rig. But there's no spillage on there, and it's burning nice and clean. And it's smashing. I really like it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little video.